And now, for a classic of pony fiction, we present to you Hoennshy, by Fenix. Chapter 1, Deviation. Wings spread wide, a yellow Pegasus dove through the steep mountain face. The barest built the tilts of her wings. She wove through a maze of protruding shells of rock and tumbling boulders as she extended her hooves to grab at a falling hummingbird. It was tiny and hard to see, the Pegasus having to lock her eyes on to keep in sight with the falling rocks as it blended into the grassy earth below. With a look of fierce determination, she pushed past the remaining chunks of rock and scooped up the emerald bird in her hooves. With a quick glance, she watched the hummingbird rest in her arms, its wing mangled and broken. She tilted herself up, flapped her wings, and flew away from the crumbling mountain, watching the rocks tumble and crash down with remaining 100 feet. With a long sigh of relief, she floated down to the soft grass, flipping her long pink mane out of her face as she caught her breath. When she reached the ground, she gently placed the hummingbird down as well as rest. His tiny chest rose and fell quickly, giving the Pegasus a breath of relief that the bird was still alive. She then examined his injuries, a few bruises on his side, and a right broken wing.
Wait. I don't get it. In a fig, where I just did something amazing? Oh my gosh, thanks, Celestia.
I know. I'm utterly shocked too, Flares.
Don't you worry about a thing. I'll bring you back to my cottage and nurse you back to health.
She promised the sleeping bird with a warm smile. The Pegasus would have to head back home without the amorous flowers he had been looking for, but taking care of a new patient was a much higher priority.
I wonder what could have done this.
She thought to herself as she made her way back home through the everfree forest. The sun had risen only an hour ago, leaving the forest still shrouded in long shadows and thick fog. It wasn't normal for the Pegasus to venture out in the forest, let alone by herself when visibility was so poor. Carefully tracing her steps, she walked slowly along the beaten road with the hummingbird on her back. Her eyes peeled for any lurking cockatrice or manticore that might have concealed itself within the thick fog. She quickly shook off the feeling and quickened her steps, wanting to leave the forest as quickly as she could. A distant roar made her skid to a stop and looked back, watching the faint silhouette of a dragon curl its way up to the mountain she just left. With a gulp, she continued at a quicker pace, and was barely able to keep her wings from snapping shut out of fear as a shudder coursed through her. The last of the trees passed the pony as she flew through the forest and landed next to her cottage, nestled close to the everfree's edge just outside town. Several Pegasi could be seen flying through the air, tasked with cutting through the fog so the sun might shine on the pastel-colored town. For a new patient in hoof, the yellow Pegasus flew into the wooden cottage, greeted by the noise of slumbering critters. Inside the cottage was a veritable veterinary hospital, one that was respected by all of Ponyville, and doubled as the Pegasus's home. Small woodland creatures, birds, insects, and reptiles snuggled in specially made beds. A multitude of birdhouses were gathered about outside. She rummaged through her closet and pulled out a small comforter, placed it on the floor before setting the hummingbird on top.
You just rest now. Who knows why you would go all the way up to the mountain for nectar? It's so dangerous out there.
She says he stuck a small, still unconscious bird in. The Pegasus always made sure her patients were comfortable before she began to treat them. With most of her patients still asleep, she quietly hovered into the kitchen and began to sort through her collection of dried herbs, selecting a few on the shelf to prepare a remedy for the hummingbird. As she started to grind them, there came a knock on the door, stirring several of the animals out of their slumber. After a quick soft hush, she made her way to the door, wondering who would come over at such an early hour. On the other side was a cyan Pegasus with rainbow-striped mane, tapping her hoof impatiently on the front steps. "Hey there, Fluttershy!" The blue Pegasus smiled, seizing her hoof tips. "Can I come in?"
Oh, of course. Oh, just be sure to stay quiet though. The animals are still sleeping.
Fluttershy moved out for the doorway, allowing the rainbow Pegasus to enter. Just slowly shutting the door behind them, she turned to her friend.
What brings you over, Rainbow Dash?
"Just seeing what you're up to. I saw you flying out of the Everfree Forest a few minutes ago. What was with that?" Rainbow inquired.
Oh, I was looking for a special power for a recipe I use for some of my more potent medicines. They have a soft glow so they're easier to see in the dark.
First, I explained, she went into the kitchen to finish making the medicine. "You? Going to Everfree Forest? At night? Alone?" Rainbow asked as she made her way to the counter, leaning on it as she saw her friend an incredulous look. "Doesn't sound like something you'd do."
I know I don't venture out there much, but the forest has been pretty quiet lately, and I thought I'd give it a try.
she explained, continuing to grind the leaves.
But when I made my way up Jagged Peak, I found a hummingbird over there falling off. It was hit by something, maybe a large wind gust. I caught it and brought it back here.
Oh, so that's why you were out so early, Rainbow said, watching the hummingbird swim under its blanket over the kitchen counter. Is the little guy gonna be alright?
I'm sure it will be. It's only a broken wing.
Fluttershy took the ground up leaves and dumped them into a jar filled with a clear ficus liquid, shaking it before pouring it into a small bowl. She stepped away from the counter and set the bowl down next to the hummingbird's bed.
This painkiller will help make the recovery easier.
Before she could give it to medicine, however, it awoke, thrashing under the covers.
Oh, still, please. I'm just trying to help.
Fluttershy said before the bird escaped from the blanket and flew erratically around the room, flight hobbled by its broken wing.
Oh my, you'll hurt yourself if you keep doing this.
She pleaded, chasing the hobbling bird around the cottage. Rainbow simply stood and watched as Fluttershy, trying to calm the frantic bird, flew over her couch and tables, through the opening above the counter and up the stairs. How's it still flying? I thought its wing was broken, Rainbow asked as she made her way up the stairs. The hummingbird was flying near the ceiling, occasionally dipping and chirping in pain. Why is it spouting out like that? Is it because I'm here?
I don't think so. I've had other parties here before and the animals were fine.
Fluttershy assured her.
Maybe he doesn't trust me,
she said disheartenedly, watching as the bird continued to flap about the ceiling. Before too long it descended and flew to Fluttershy's bed, half puffing and exhausted. Fluttershy slowly pressed the bird so as not to scare it into another frenzy, before she could even reach it, and nestled to the bed and fall into sleep. So, is it over now? Rainbow asked anxiously, watching as Fluttershy picked up the tuckered out bird.
Maybe it's scared of something,
she guessed as the two made their way down to the lower floor. Fluttershy trotted over to its makeshift bed and set it down, tucking it back in as she put the medicine away.
If it doesn't take its medicine, it'll never heal its wing. Hopefully it's just this one time.
Well, I'll leave it to you, Rainbow said as she tried to the cottage door.
Wait, are you doing anything? I mean,
Fluttershy squeaked. You want to hang out? I don't have much to do today anyway, Rainbow Dash said enthusiastically, heading back inside. The weather is clear right on schedule, and other than that, I have off today.
Thanks, Dash. I just want somebody to be here while the hummingbird's being tested.
Fluttershy walked up to the kitchen and set up a pot of water on the stove.
I'll use the tea for us if you're staying,
she said with a smile. Thanks, Rainbow said, looking around for a seat as Fluttershy took some leaves from her cupboard. As the water boiled, she tossed the tea leaves in, letting it steep for a few minutes before running it through a strainer into the white, floral-designed tea towel. After placing 2 cups in a tray, she set the hot tea down on the table in the living area and sat down on one of her cushioned chairs.
Have you heard from the Wonderballs yet? It's been a few months since you won the Frosty on Flyers competition.
Fluttershy asked as she filled both cups with an earthy, dull green tea. Nah, they're probably busy with something else. They're on tour in Philadelphia right now, but I'm sure they'll get around to my distant eventually. Rainbow sighed before picking up her teacup. She took a sip, her face distorting into a slight revulsion. Fluttershy didn't mind, however. She knew Rainbow Dash wasn't a big tea drinker. She was just happy hers was the only tea Giant Pegasus ever seemed never to spit out. Ugh. Oh yeah, Fluttershy, I thought of this new trick that might be cooler than the Sonic Green Boom. It's pretty technical, but I'm sure I could pull it off. So first, I dive through a thunderhead and... Rainbow was interrupted by panic chirps of the hummingbird as it awoke. It fought its way up from the covers again, repeating its panic antics. Fluttershy looked over, watching as it kept its eyes trained on her, and let out a series of sharp, scared chirps as it backed into the corner of the ceiling. Fluttershy sighed and swirled her tea idly, slowly watching as it tired itself out again and fluttered to the ground. She tucked the bird back into its bed and sighed as she stood and began pacing, hearing the sound of the other animals waking.
Why is it doing this? I don't understand.
Maybe it's still scared of you, Rainbow said bluntly.
Maybe. Do I look okay?
Fluttershy asked frantically, trying not to Rainbow Dash for inspection. Yeah, you look fine. But if you wait a little longer, it'll get used to you. I mean, it took me a while to get used to Pinkie Pie. She laughed. Fluttershy joined again with a half-hearted chuckle.
Maybe. But if I don't do something right now, it'll keep trying to fly. It could irreversibly hurt itself. It could do so much harm to itself, and I can't get near it without waking it up and flying off.
Fluttershy explained solemnly. She continued pacing around until she caught something out of the corner of her eye. Out of the window, over the tops of Ponyville, Fluttershy could see the top of a rather large oak tree, giving her an idea. What's up? There's something out there? Is Pinkie Pie giving out free samples again? Rainbow excitedly asked, getting up from her seat, trying over the window.
I'm thinking I should ask Twilight for help. She tried to help me a few months ago with Philomena, so maybe she could help me with this hummingbird.
She explained, looking back on the sleeping bird.
Though things didn't go so well last time. But sure it'll be better this time since it's not the princess's pet. We actually know what it is this time.
Didn't you get in trouble with the royal guards because of her? She's an egghead, sure, but I don't think she's good with animals, Rainbow protested.
Well, I never really talked to her about my animals, but she might know something or even have a spell that could help.
Fluttershy explained as she opened the cottage door and tried over to Rainbow to head over. A spell? Really, Fluttershy? Isn't your specialty animals to begin with? Dash asked. I really don't think you need to go that far. Just put a split on its wing while it's sleeping. You're being too delicate.
Don't worry, it'll only be a small spell,
Fluttershy assured Rainbow.
It'll be in and out. Then we can come back and you can tell me more about your new trick.
Fine, Rainbow sighed as she removed herself from her seat, following Fluttershy out the door, bound for Ponyville proper. What was as hectic as a morning Fluttershy had, a brisk walk through Ponyville was exactly what she needed. The streets were quiet as a cool, calming breeze rustled gently through the two mares' manes. Ponyville had been buzzing with activity for a short while after the Grand Galloping Gala, and this was the quietest he had seen since then. It was slowly returning to the sleepy, peaceful town that Fluttershy knew and loved. Even the normally talkative Rainbow Dash was quiet, simply enjoying the stiff breeze as the pair approached the sprawling oaks set on the east side of town. Ahead was a crimson door lodged in the trunk of a giant oak tree. Inside of it was completely hollow and housed Ponyville's Books and Branches library. In the upper floors of the library lived Twilight Sparkle, just the unicorn Fluttershy wanted to see. The yellow Pegasus rapped up against the door, waiting for a response. She had no idea how the massive tree continued to thrive despite its hollow innards, and simply chalked it up to magic. Inside she could hear a few caresses and small incomprehensible mumbles coming closer to the door. Rainbow gave a small chuckle before the door glowed in a bright purple light. It swung open, revealing a small purple unicorn with a stark navy mane and tail with a pink-purple stripe running down the center of her mane. Lying beside her was an open book, suspended in a bubble of soft purple light that mirrored the glow of her horn.
Oh, hey Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash.
The unicorn set the book down on her desk, giving the two Pegasi her full, undivided attention.
What brings you here? Well, Twilight,
Fluttershy said, dimming her head in embarrassment.
I'm having trouble with a new patient. Since you were so good with Philomena, I thought you might be able to.
She's saying something about how being forceful wouldn't work or something, Rainbow interrupted. I still think she should just hold the bird down and tape its wings if it struggles. Get it over with.
Oh, another bird?
Well, I wouldn't say I was good with Philomena. I mean, the last time I tried to help you, I thought you were going to end up being banished and thrown into a dungeon. But I'll see what I can do. Twilight laughed as she set down her books. Come on in. With that, Fluttershy tried in, thanking Twilight for her assistance, the rainbow following close behind. Inside the tree was a grand library, with a bookcase after bookcase of books lining the interior. The tree had two floors. The top floor was Twilight's keeping quarters, an observatory connected to that room, a telescope and other astronomical devices contained within it. Even though it was a public library, there wasn't another pony to be found.
Spike!
Twilight yelled, prompting a small, bipedal purple dragon to slip down the stairs to stand at her side. He was roughly chest high to a pony with green scales, protruding from the back with large emerald eyes. What's up, Twilight? He asked with a smile, before turning to see the two Pegasi enter the room. Hi, Fluttershy. Hey, Rainbow Dash. Spike looked around the room, his phrasing changed to one disdain. Oh, library cleanup. Again. Yeah, I'm sorry it's just a mess. I've been doing some research for the princess, and I must have lost track of time, Twilight said, embarrassed. I'm on it, Spike said with a half-hearted salute, before beginning his assigned duty, picking up the books and stacks and setting them away. With Spike busy cleaning up books, Twilight turned back to Fluttershy, puzzled. So, what seems to be the problem? Fluttershy shuffled her hoof in a nervous swipe.
You see, I have a hummingbird that simply won't let me help it. Whenever I try to get close to it, it flies away.
She slowly started to pace around the library, peering at some of the books.
Would you happen to have a spell that would make it less intimidating?
She stopped for a moment, then quickly rebounded.
I mean, if you have one, that is.
Intimidating, Fluttershy scoffed. You couldn't scare a mouse if you wanted to.
Twilight's right. Rainbow's right. You're overthinking this,
Twilight agreed. You normally don't have a problem with getting animals to trust you, so why do you think you need a spell for this one?
The hummingbird is just so fidgety when I get near it. I'm afraid if it has any more outbursts, it might hurt itself permanently. He's flying around my cottage, trying to get away from me. I really need your help.
Fluttershy explained. How long ago did you bring it in?
Well, I found it this morning when I was looking for herbal ingredients.
This morning. That's it? Twilight asked with a puzzled look. Don't you think you should let it rest and give it a chance to open up to you first?
Yes, but a hummingbird's wings are very fragile. It's always strained itself twice a day just trying to get away from me. I really needed to help it relax. I still have my other paces to think about.
Fine, Twilight sighed. But spells that change others' perception of you are body modification spells. It shouldn't be taken lightly. Are you sure you want me to do this?
Oh, absolutely. I can't even be in the same room as it without trying to fly away. And I'm sure it won't be any issue at all.
Fluttershy assured the unicorn. Well, I'll see what I can find. Wait here a bit. With that, the unicorn went to work, grabbing a slew of books off of the bookshelves. She began digging through them, thoroughly reading in silence for her mind engrossed in the intricate workings, calculations of the arcane arts that the text provided her. Fluttershy had no worries about what the spell Twilight would find. The unicorn was a personal protege of Princess Celestia, raised as sun and moon for over 1,000 years. If any pony could find Fluttershy's suitable spell, it was her. Within a few minutes, Rainbow Dash yawned and began to pace around the library. Ugh, how long is this going to take? Maybe we should just bring Pinky over. She'd find you if you knocked a book on her head. Fluttershy and Twilight giggled, knowing the Pink Pony's track record. Rainbow's prediction wasn't likely too far off. Minutes turned to hours as Twilight rummaged through a multitude of books for a suitable spell. The Yellow Pegasus had spent half the day away from her patients, but couldn't afford to leave and check up on them. Twilight could find a spell at any minute, and Fluttershy had to wait out for her visiting patient, lest it went on another outburst, but as he went back before the spell was cast. Tired of waiting, Rainbow Dash fell asleep, leaving Fluttershy to wait as Spike went up to the upper floor to continue tying it up. She peered out the window, watching several ponies run around happily in the midday sun. Aha! I found something! Twilight sang out, brushing aside the mountain of scrolls and texts that once again littered the floor. Rainbow slowly awoke and shook herself off before standing beside the new, fully alert Fluttershy. Twilight carried the still open book to Fluttershy, setting him down in front of the Yellow Pegasus. It's a credence spell, she explained, pointing at the parchment page. With it, anything should perceive you as more trustworthy, allowing you to give that stubborn bird proper without treatment, without any problems. It only lasts about a day or so you best be quick.
I never heard a spell like that,
Fluttershy mentioned, rubbing her head. She looked over at Rainbow, who gave her the supporting shrug. Well, it's an old spell. It's from the scholar Professor Arcan Griswold, the pioneer of Equestrian arcane arts, Twilight explained. Because it's an older spell, it's much more difficult to cast. Every part must be executed perfectly, or it might deviate. She brought the spell book back to her and readied herself for the casting. She read over it one last time to reinforce her grasp of the spell's inner workings, and fixed her gaze on the Yellow Pegasus. This will take a lot of energy, so if it doesn't work the first time, you'll have to come back in a few days.
What if someone comes in and runs the spell? Should we go somewhere less public?
Fluttershy asked. No pony has come in so far. I don't think there's anything to worry about. When her stance ready and the spell at the forefront of her thoughts, she paused. Are you absolutely sure you want to do this?
I'm sure,
Fluttershy nodded. All right then, let's do this. Twilight planted her host firmly on the floor, as her horn began to glow in a fierce purple light. The brightness of her horn eclipsed the light coming in from the shadow. Pulses of energy, with a loud rumble, caused the bookshelves to rattle. Rainbow took a step back, as the whole room began to be swallowed up by the darkness. As the glow of her horn intensified, left only the three mares and the book illuminating. Panting, Twilight focused all her energy to her horn. The tree began to tremor violently as her horn glowed even brighter. Twilight, isn't this a little bit much for a trust spell? Rainbow yelled over the roar of waves of magic. But Twilight seemed oblivious to Rainbow's inquiry. Fluttershy began to panic, but gritted her teeth and forced herself to stand still. It had taken hours for her friend to find the spell. She wanted to make sure her waiting was not for nothing. The purple light continued to pulsate, sending waves of energy outwards, sinking Twilight to her knees. The tremors grew in power, knocking books off the shelves and sending Rainbow Dash stumbling into a bookcase. Twilight then groaned from exertion as beads of sweat ran down her hide. A few moments later, the light swirled and then collapsed into a single bright ball, which shot out towards its target. Fluttershy yelled as she was struck by the ball of light energy. Before she knew it, she had been immobilized. The bright yellow light surrounded her. She struggled to move her body, even an inch, but all she could manage was to watch as Twilight collapsed exhausted from the spell book. Fluttershy! Rainbow yelled, running up to the frightened Pegasus. What's going on? Is everything all right? A white light flashed through the aura, forcing Rainbow back from her friend. Oh, why is this Fluttershy fan getting excited? Fluttershy's breath quickened, vision blurred, and her head began to throb. She skipped straight to blind panic, to chilling terror, as the whole world around her seemed to distort and shatter before her. She screamed, trying to reach for the fear-stricken rainbow dash, until eventually her vision went completely black. The world around her, and the feeling dispels energy. Even her own body seemed to disappear, lulling her into an eerie calm before the Pegasus fell unconscious. Twilight awoke slowly, idly wiping the sleep from her eyes with the back of a forehoof. The sun shone through the windows to the west, bathing the unicorn in the light of the evening sun. She was tucked into her bed somehow, her head aching and pounding furiously. After rubbing her head, she shook herself off before hearing commotion down the stairs. Beside her, she heard a sharp grasp. "Everybody! She's awake!" A white unicorn with a curled purple mane yelled from her chair, causing a flurry of clothes to rush up the stairs. Her two friends rushed up the stairs and stopped at her bedside.
"I had no idea you could sleep for so long, Twilight."
"Huh? Verity?" she stammered, while quickly trying to come up with an explanation for the sudden influx of ponies. "What are you all doing in my house?"
"Well, everybody felt a rather large tremor, although it seemed it would shake Ponyville apart. Then we saw the library lit up like you were having a fancy soiree,"
Verity explained to.
"When it stopped, we all rushed over as quickly as we could. What happened?"
"Oh, sorry. That spell took out more than I thought. Wait, an earthquake? I didn't perform that hard of a spell!" Twilight stated, stepping out of bed. "How Fluttershy's doing?" Her friends looked down at the floor with solemn faces, filling her with confusion. She looked over at the mob of ponies, who started conversing with each other.
"She's been missing for 2 days now. Rainbow said your spell made her disappear,"
Verity explained, staying a hoof on Twilight's shoulder. A grim look washed over Twilight's face as he heard the news.
"Rainbow's out looking for her as we speak. She didn't look so well when we took off." "We're here for you, Twilight,"
a pink pony with a frazzled pink mane and tail yelled out with a small smile on her face.
"I'm sure we'll find her soon enough. Your Pegasus spells don't send ponies that far, Frank."
"What are you talking about? I didn't do a teleportation spell. Fluttershy should be—" A wave of horror washed over Twilight's face, causing her to back away from the bed. No. No. Did you say 2 days? I've been asleep for 2 days. That spell wasn't supposed to take that much out of me. Without another word, she barreled her way past her friends in a frenzy. As she ran down the stairs, an orange surf pony with a blonde mane and tail followed her, easily catching up. "Wait up, Twilight!" The farm pony called off after the unicorn with a southern drawl, matching speed with the frantic unicorn. "Where y'all headed off to?" "Fluttershy's cottage. She can't be missing, Applejack. I performed that spell perfectly!" Twilight yelled back into panic as she sped her way through the streets, kicking up dirt from the ground. "Hold on, guys!" Spike yelled, running out the door to chase the two speeding ponies. Twilight and Applejack stopped to let Spike catch up. Then the unicorn led him onto her back and continued to sprint. "Where are you going, Twilight?" "I'm going to Fluttershy's to get this story straight once for all. She'll be in her cottage, safe and sound." "Well, I was assigned to look after her animals since she's got missing. I already got some animals start to liking me," Spike said, causing Twilight to scoff. "We've gone through her cottage so many times. I reckon I might know it better than she does. She ain't there, Twilight," Applejack said, trying to reason with the hysterical unicorn. "No, she has to be there. She just has to be," Twilight thought as they galloped through Ponyville. The streets were empty, most of the town all searching for the missing Pegasus. As they came closer, the cottage seemed to loom before Twilight, her panic reaching insurmountable levels. She went over the spell over and over in her head, meticulously soaring over every last detail. She then went over each calculation that flew through her head with a fine-toothed comb. "Rainbow Dash told me everything before she left." "What were you doing trying a difficult spell of Fluttershy in the first place?" Applejack scolded her.
"Fluttershy wanted me to do it, and I went through every precautionary measure. I have no idea what happened, but I'm sure this is all just a misunderstanding."
A small nervous laugh escaped Twilight's mouth.
"When we get there, Fluttershy will be fine. This is all a joke. I didn't sleep for 2 days. Don't be silly."
Twilight lied to herself. In no way did she want to believe her friend, but they would never, ever lie to her about something like this. Applejack especially would never lie to her friends. But Twilight desperately wanted this to be the one outlier. "Oh, you'll say so." Applejack trailed off as they approached the cottage door. Twilight tapped on the door, hoping desperately that Fluttershy would answer. Some animal noises could be heard through the cracks of the doorway, but no sign of the Pegasus. Twilight tried one more time. Nothing.
Maybe she's asleep. Never know how tired taking care of animals to take you,"
Twilight suggested, glancing at skeptical Applejack. Applejack tried through the window and peered in. Hat